Welcome to the commute. This is
Take
me.
two.
I'm Shannon.
This is the commute take two.
And you're Andrew.
I'm Andrew.
And we're not going to die.
We're not gonna die.
And we are commuting today. We are commuting to the north side.
Mhm.
We did have the radio on. We tried to keep going.
Shannon already complained about my windshield wipers.
Windshield wipers are really loud. It's raining. And then my alarm went off for a Monday report, which I did not do. I got to do that too. It's Monday. And now we've got the phone ringing, which should be on silent. Here's Daniel.
It's our agent, Daniel Jackson.
Did you already put it on silent?
No, but I will as soon as we're off the phone. But
I can.
I need to know where I'm going first.
I can. Oh, you did do it to silent though. Oh, here, map, y'all. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. So we are going to talk today about what makes a good agent versus a bad agent. Could be driving. Oh God. Could be the driving skills.
I think that was the right call.
It was the right call, but it was extremely close. We've got to get the reverse camera. We got to get it where it's doing that side, so people can see what I have to.
You know what? But when I'm in my Tesla, it'll do that automatically, so we don't have to worry about it.
It is not. It's going to make you stop.
But if I'm in the self-driving mode, this should.
It's not. It's not gonna. It would have slowed you down.
We'll see.
We will.
We'll see.
It is not gonna drive how you drive.
I feel like I'm gonna have issues with the self-driving.
I feel like I'm gonna love the self-driving.
Just gotta keep tapping the.
What does that do?
It's like so you're still here. You have to keep tapping this because
this is the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you don't, then it'll I guess I don't know. Shut down.
Just stop.
Yeah, I don't
It's
have no
like
idea.
You're not here. I'm stopping you in the middle of the interstate. Yeah. Okay.
What makes a good agent?
Good agent versus a bad agent. So, number one is someone who a good agent responds in a timely fashion, and typically that's in a fast, quick fashion, right? Like I would say, the majority of the consumers out there do not want to have to wait around for hours and hours or days and days to get a response on something. So I think communication and like speed of communication.
I keep making the wrong decision with this driving.
It's definitely number one. Yeah, but you know what? They're in the worst. Like they're in such a spot to get in an accident.
And they're all just standing here.
I think they're like, you have to take me out before the machine. They're protecting the machine.
It must have just broken down.
It must have been broken down.
Anyway, response time.
Response time. Okay, so that's number one, or at least I think number one. It's a very important thing. What else?
I mean, right in line with that. Communication, you want agents that are constantly communicating with their clients, with other agents, with when other agents call you with questions and then you just don't respond.
Right.
I mean, it's the same problem.
Yeah.
But it's just but at the same time, if you're if you respond with just okay, I got it, I'll find out, and then you never actually follow through and find out, and it's the same issue. So it's not only just quick response. Never mind.
So communication, follow up.
Clients in.
I think you were supposed to go that way.
This is the HOV 75 lane.
Are you sure? Yeah. Interesting. I don't think so. Is it? It is. Okay. So communication to other agents and follow up and everything in a timely fashion. So all of that I think does go under communications. But what about knowledge? Like how much does knowledge really play into?
That's a good question. I don't know, because there's a lot of knowledgeable agents that aren't good agents.
Right.
And there's not, and some of the best agents aren't the brightest bulbs in the box.
Sharpest tool in the shed.
They rely on their support, and then they go out and they're a good agent with their clients.
Right.
But they constantly need the support. So I guess it just depends on, as a broker, owner, team lead, what you categorize as a good agent or a high producing agent. Those are two different things.
True. So just because someone is a high producing agent does not mean that they are necessarily a good agent.
Or even the best agent they could be. Right? Like, and I mean, and you could say, okay, that's true across the board. Everyone could always be getting better. But there are definitely some agents that are selling, 8 to 12 million that can be way better because they just don't apply themselves.
But also those agents, when we're talking about knowledge, some of those agents really do not have a lot of knowledge, like beyond negotiations and sales, right? So like sometimes, because I got into a point where I was really wanting to just learn more of the industry. Like that's why I got involved in RPAC and some of the political stuff and more of the law side and the contract side of things. And it gives you a ton of knowledge. But if you're not a good salesperson, having the knowledge doesn't necessarily help. But then you have good salespeople that I wish they had more knowledge. Mm-hmm. So
you wish they cared about it, because it's like they don't even, their only purpose is to sell houses.
Right.
They don't really have a care about being a better agent.
Right.
Well, like I guess it's not even that they don't care about being a better agent. They just don't think that being a smarter agent is a better agent. They're just like, well, I'm selling houses. That's all that matters.
Right. I think where it comes into play, what happens is when you're in, like, let's go back to the COVID market, where it was, in essence, if you were a good salesperson, you were killing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you didn't necessarily need any knowledge. You needed to know how to open a house and negotiate for your client. And negotiation was even not a real thing, because how much money do you have? Okay, you need to offer all of it. Right? Like, it was, now you're in a more, you've got to have more knowledge to be able to sell, or you're selling those that just need a salesperson.
Yeah.
So I think that
well, and you now you need the knowledge to best help your clients, right? To be able to explain to them, hey, this is like, yes, the 7% interest rate sucks.
Yeah.
But like, if you go look at like time, right? Like back in, I think well, I wasn't reading anything. It was an Instagram. But it was like in 1973, rates were in the 7s. And if you would have waited till rates came down, you would have waited till 1991.
Right.
So you would just rent it for 18
because
years.
In the 80s and 90s, it went up to 19 and 20%.
Right. So it's like, so at what point, at some point, you have to just say, okay, I can afford this house. I'm going to buy it because it's better than renting, because you're still building equity. Yep. You're still doing all these things. So like, and I think that's kind of what you have to get into people. Yes, it sucks. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Because of COVID, 3, 4, 5%, those are all way better. But right now you're at 7.25. You could buy it down if you have a little bit of cash. You can get into the 6.5 or 6.25.
Yep.
And if you can afford it, that's all that really matters. It's the opposite of buying a car.
Right.
If I can afford that monthly payment, that's what matters.
Yep.
And I think you just have to.
So that becomes a knowledge side. So you need those windshield going that fast still. Do you not have like a where they only move when the rain is on them, and like what's that called? Like where it's not high, not low, it just
automatic?
Maybe, is that what it's called?
I mean, they are on automatic. I'm not turning them on.
Huh.
Like this technically is automatic. They just keep going as much as they gotta go.
No, that's on high. Yeah, that button. See, now won't it go like just when it gets too much rain on the window?
I have no idea. I don't know what any of that means. I just know that goes slower.
I think so. Now you probably have it too slow. There's probably one right above that.
There we go.
So, anyways, okay. So, knowledge could matter depending on the market, but
it's always going to matter. Like, in all reality,
always matters.
To be the best agent, the best agent for all your clients.
How does a consumer know if they're getting an agent that has knowledge?
They have to ask questions. Consumers need to treat their agent like an interview process. I think that doesn't happen enough.
Right.
Consumers, and I think it's switching, but consumers have a tendency to just blindly trust if they have like a good feeling about it, or they're an agent, so they must know what they're talking about. about.
Yeah, or they just ask about commission.
Yeah. Oh, how much is it going to cost me?
Yep. Like they don't really understand what else matters when you're hiring an agent.
Right.
So what are some questions that they could ask that would give them insight on if the agent is knowledgeable or not?
Well, I think it depends for a listing or for a buyer.
Buyer.
What are some questions for a buyer? I mean, I would ask, what am I looking at as far as how much do you think we'll be able to get in closing costs from the seller, right? Because I think a good agent will be able to kind of pinpoint it, right?
They'll be able to tell you in the current market what you can expect.
Right. So
yep.
So I think like right now, if someone's asked me that and I'm in Henry County, I would say honestly anywhere between $7,000 and $12,000 for if we're looking at like $400,000 houses.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I think be wary consumers of agents that just say, "Oh, we'll get them to pay all of it."
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing,
and that shows they have no education.
Right. Because agents that know it's a buyer's market, they're just going to blindly say, "Oh, we'll get them to pay all of it."
Yeah.
They're just going to say, "Oh, I'll get them to pay all of it." Like, no, you won't. Like, that's not how this works.
Well, and also you can't. It depends on the loan.
Right.
So then you've got loan issues and all that. So typically, if you ask an agent that question, I think that's going to give you a broad spectrum of if they're educated or not. Right. Like it's going to give you.
Well, they at least know what market they're in. Like, and if I'm in here in Smyrna and they ask, I was like, we might be able to get 2,000 to 4,000.
Right.
But at that point, you're better off just doing a full price offer and not going up. Like for one, we had to go over asking to get a little bit of closing costs. Like just because the market's still, people are buying houses.
Right.
So like it's it's very market specific, and so which leads to more education, right? If you're an agent that's like, I'm only selling my market, okay, well you only have to be knowledgeable of that market.
Right.
But if you're selling in multiple markets, you have to know what's going on in all of them if you're going to sell there.
Yep. Okay, so we have communication with agents and consumers.
Yeah.
Time frame, how you communicate, all that fun stuff, the whole gamut of communication. And then we have knowledge of the market. Okay, what's another thing that makes a good agent?
I mean, honestly, your drive. Like, what are your, like, how does your, like, you always talk about how your why, what's your why? How does your why actually affect you, though? Like, does that actually drive you to work hard, to put in the hours? Like, does that actually give you the motivation to work? I mean, there's so many agents out there that, like, I talked to an agent to try to put an offer on a house. He's like, "Oh, sorry, it's Saturday. I don't work on Saturdays."
Which I just do not understand.
Talk to my team, and I'll get back to you on Monday. And I'm just sitting there like, what is this? Don't work. Like, take a Monday off, fine, or a Tuesday, but Saturday,
when like the majority of the buyers are actually looking, like,
and you'll probably get the most offers on Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
And you're just going to be like, talk to my team.
Yeah, I do know that there's another team that we work heavily with, and they put in MLS that showings will be approved over the weekends, but all offers are reviewed on Monday before 11 a.m. from the weekend. We return all calls Monday before 11 a.m. Basically telling you we do not work on the weekends, but our homes are always available to show on the weekends through showing time. So, and I guess that's this element of trying to make the real estate profession more that business hour profession. The only problem I have with that is it's not.
No, it can't, and it can't be.
It's just not.
And because even all the positive of it, right? Where like if you're an indie agent, you can set your own all that things. But like that's part of it is you can set your own schedule. But if you're going to work and make money, you have to work and make money when the clients are able to see houses.
Right.
And that's nights and weekends.
And that can make a good buyer's agent look bad if they have to go back to that consumer and say, "Hey, sorry, I can't get the listing agent." Because, especially if they're not 100% trusting you to begin with, like you're trying to build a relationship. I mean, that's just, so it hurts all agents. Yeah, I would prefer, like, if you're an agent that doesn't want to work nights and weekends, that you assign someone to be on call during that time frame, right? Like, so someone should always be available. And then I don't know how do they handle their seller? Like, if the seller calls it, surely they answer their calls, right?
Surely. I mean,
Like,
hopefully,
because like, what if somebody broke into their house or someone
right.
left the toilet running, or I mean, just so much could happen. Anyways, okay, so the why, I think tied to the why, like their drive and why is also work ethic in general, right? And I'm learning that I don't think you can teach work ethic.
No, you can't. Well, I think you can teach it in a young kid.
Right, but I mean, like, once I get them, once the agents come to me.
I think after 2022.
Really? So you think if I get them young enough, I can, at like 18, I can train them work ethic? I don't know. I feel that that's
maybe
been
not. It might be like 8, 16.
Yeah, I feel that's been installed since they were little, because you watched your parents, right? So like, even if you didn't quote unquote work at 14, you saw your parents, and most likely if you have strong working parents, like work ethic, they probably had you doing stuff around the house.
Well, and another reason though, like kind of on part of that is you always want to, if you can, and you find out like they were an athlete in high school.
Oh, yep.
That's a perfect one, because they always have that. They definitely have a work, like, and they stuck with it for 4 years.
Yep.
Because you know that they're work hard to get better. Same name Kennedy.
Yep.
Those are the two people I thought about.
Yep. Shout out to Kennedy boy, and Kendall, and both of them have used sports in some of their analogies with me, and their drive. I mean, it really does say, okay, I'm going to commit, I'm going to do this, and I put in the work to get the result. So yeah, I think that's a good way to find, if a younger agent find that they had sports or did something that drove them to have that spirit.
Because I think, because all of your because your younger agents that didn't do sports or something like that, the ones that are like more, how do I say this? I guess like more like artsy or like
free
spirited, all those those are the ones that you're never gonna be able to nail down their why to begin with. And so you're never gonna know their work ethic, because they're a free spirit. They wanna kind of work when they want to work and not work when they don't want to work. And that's fine and well, but then you can't come running and be like, why am I not successful? It's like, well, because at 3 o'clock every day you want to be done, and you're not willing to work till 9 p.m. on a Tuesday because you have to. So like, that's kind of where it's.
So that's one. And then also the child that was like literally taken care of and never had to do anything for themselves. And that's like a hard one for me, because my parents did do, like, I never did chores, like I never did any of that crud, but I started working at 14 and helping my parents, giving them my paycheck, right? So it's like, I didn't have that, I'm going to help with the laundry, I'm doing dishes. I never had that. My mom and dad both worked 2 jobs, and took care of the house and made sure I got what I needed. But when I was 14, I worked, right? So you have those agents that have just been so taken care of, between having nannies. There's a couple in our office, but here's one I was thinking about. She literally, everything has been handed to her. She will never technically have to work for anything, right? But great salesperson is not driven. Right?
And it seems like when times get tougher, instead of, you're either a bison or a cow, you either run into the storm or you run away from it. That was not my fault. He was coming in my lane.
I know. I don't know what she's doing. She got her hands up here, so they need to be here. I have your thing on silent. Why is it still ringing?
Did he hang up, or did you hang up on him?
I didn't touch anything.
No. Probably wondering where we are. I'm usually there at 8:30.
But you are on silent. That is so weird. Anyways, all right. So, okay, what else? Good agent versus a bad agent. Communication. Recap. Communication.
Education, knowledge, whatever you want to say there.
And work ethic. Drive. Work ethic. Okay, so that's the 3. That is probably the main 3 things, because they encompass so much. What about negotiation skills? Not, because I don't consider that to be education.
And I think just is going to comes with time. It's a little bit of knowledge, but it's also more just like having to get the experience. Like, I don't think anyone, like, and that's really why you need to join a team as a new agent. So you can kind of understand, okay, what are my hitting points for these negotiations to try to get what we need out of these, you know what I mean? Like, when we're when we're negotiating with a buyer or we're negotiating with a seller, what are our hitting points to where, okay, we can get this or we can get that?
Yeah, and that, it does, I guess, fall into knowledge. The only thing that I'm thinking about that is a little different is sometimes it is more about how you communicate versus what you communicate.
Yeah.
Right? So then there does need to be some of that. I guess it really does fall under, still, it's a communication and knowledge kind of collide when it comes to negotiations.
It's kind of also reading that person out. Like, you usually can read the personality of the agent and the seller based on how the agent communicates about their seller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so if you like for me, if I understand that this agent is this is a super difficult seller, and she's having a hard time communicating with her about like the reality of the situation. For me, it's going to be, all right, it's more like collaborative. Okay, what do we need to do to get this done?
Yeah.
What does she need? Like, and so it's more like collaborative communication on, okay, this is what my buyer needs. This is what we have to have.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of like, okay, we're all working towards the same goal.
Right.
Whereas if it's, I don't know, and I guess it just depends on your buyer too. It really is. Negotiation is tough because it just depends on so many different factors. Is it a house that your buyer is like, I like, but I don't have to have?
Right.
Is it a house that my buyer is like, I love this house and I have to have it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's,
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're trying to do what's best for the client.
Right.
So if she tells me, I love this house, well, I'm going to tell her, well, then we're not going to make a big deal about this $1,000. You're going to have to pay for that after closing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's just.
So reading people, like understanding people.
Yeah.
So.
I would say so. I think for negotiate, like it's not just as like how good of a negotiator you are, because it doesn't matter. Okay, if you think, okay, I can get this $1,500 from the seller and I'm going to negotiate it, but it also could cause you to lose the deal and your buyer loves the house, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, even when you're right now, we have a lot of negotiating your commission too.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind when an agent will kill a deal over their commission. Like, that is a bad agent.
Yeah.
That is a bad agent.
A solely money-driven agent is a bad agent.
Yes, that is so true.
I think money is a good motivating factor. For me, I want to make more money. So like that is going to cause me to sell more. But it will never impact me how much money I'm making off of a deal on how the service that I'll give.
Yeah, but the key word there for a sentence was off of a deal, because you realize that sacrificing some on a deal will lead to future deals where you make that money up.
Yeah,
right.
I think it really is kind of like reap what you sow, karma. Like there is no matter what you believe. Like as a Christian, I believe reap what you sow.
Right.
But that is karma, right, to an extent, and kind of like what you put out into the world, you get back. Like if you treat people with reasonable care and like treat them well and always are looking out for them, that shows. Like Carla made a joke on Friday about how, Andrew will deal with all the difficult clients, and I will, but that's because like I think difficult clients, they have a fear of agents because they think you're just after them for the money.
Yep.
Usually that's what most of them are. You're only after me for my money.
Yep.
And I think I do a good job of conveying, like, this isn't about, for that one client, I didn't even get paid to help her sell her house.
Right.
I literally only got paid to help her buy it. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is, you want to move. This is our offers. Take one of these so we can put an offer on this house. And I think it's just, that's what we're supposed to be, though.
Right. But I think like that, going back to that whole like karma, I don't believe in karma. I don't believe it. I'm a Christian, so I literally believe reap what you sow. Yeah. All that other stuff is BS. At the end of the day, if you are caring about people, you might still get screwed over by that person.
Yeah.
But you are working and living towards a higher power, for greater. So therefore, at the end of the day, you did what was right for someone else.
Yeah, and sometimes you're not the one reaping.
Right.
Right? It's someone you love, someone you care about, or it's just like as a Christian, it's in heaven, like you go to heaven and you get not rewards, but when you go in front of God, right? As a Christian, is what we believe. You will know that, hey, these situations you handled the way you're supposed to handle them, right? Like, and that is all you really should care about reaping, anyways.
Right.
Not okay. Well, I made $1,500 on this deal. Hopefully, I'll make 10 grand on the next one. Like, it's not
right. Exactly.
It might work like that,
but if that's what you're looking at, then you're still looking at selfish motives, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you're like, oh, it's okay, I'm going to get XYZ, because you might not. But at the end of the day, if you just treat people how you should, you have the ultimate reward. So I don't believe in all that put it out in the universe bull crap. Just do what you're supposed to do. It's not that even complicated. I don't believe in karma, because then that we could do a whole podcast on that, but it's not real estate related.
But I'm just saying, like, it's like that karmic belief is basically you reap what you sow. But I guess they believe
if I do something good, I get something good. If I do something bad, I get something bad.
But the good might be the feeling you get about doing something good.
As long as you're not having an ulterior motive.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying.
Still don't believe in karma.
I'm saying, like, that belief system, for me, when I think about karma, it's reap what you sow.
Yeah.
But I guess for
Has that house always been there?
Yeah.
Did they redo it?
Tell you haven't been up here in a while.
So we're almost to the north side office. I think we have thrown out there at least the 3 main things.
I think for good agents, especially. It's hard to say bad agents, because, like, I don't want to, like, tear people down, but it is, I don't know, there's a lot of bad agents out there.
There's so many bad agents. There's bad agents that are not even trying to get better, which is very frustrating, right? Like, just try to get better.
Right. Agreed.
Why is our sign so white and everybody else's is like a tannish color?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's pretty. Anyways, that's it. What do you say?
Follow us on Instagram, commute.pod. That's on Instagram. YouTube, I think, is also the Commute Pod.
I don't know. Can't Jordan just, like, hashtag these things?
She should.
At these things?
She should. Like, it's a video, so she's at the bottom at the commute.pod, if that's what it is.
Yeah, Jordan, fix all this.
Yeah.
All right,
Jordan.
We're out.
Bye.